Kurosawa, the Friendly Film Crit podcast. I am your host, Ben Filipkowski, resident film freak.
And I am Farrah Sarpkaya, a person who loves film, but like in a super chill, give me all the tropes sort of way. And this week, we are watching Alita Battle Angel. Released in 2019, this anime turned big screen film was directed by Robert Rodriguez, written by James Cameron, Leita Kalogridis, and Yukito Kishiro. My apologies for pronouncing that wrong. And stars Rosa Salazar as the titular Alita, as well as Christoph Waltz, Jennifer Connelly, Mahershala Ali, and just so many other incredible actors. We begin in a cyberpunk scrapyard in Iron City, beneath a floating city. Zalem, as Dr. Dyson Ito, played by Christoph Waltz, is looking for parts he can use to treat his cybernetic patients. While he's searching, he comes across the head and upper torso of a young woman who is made entirely of metal parts, but for her human brain. Ito brings her home and rebuilds her, but when she awakes, she has none of her memories, and the rest of the film is pretty straightforward considering how complicated it gets. Basically, she tries to get her memories back, she discovers she's actually a 300-year-old alien warrior, and she discovers a big conspiracy about Zalem, and of course, to successfully find the truth, she has to play a really epic roller derby basketball pickup kind of game? I don't know. I mean, look, there's a lot more in here, and it's my movie pick, but that's kind of just the vibe. So if you want to learn more, go watch it or read the manga, I suppose. Ben, how did you like it?
I don't know about this one. I don't think I did. I certainly didn't dislike it. But I just thought of this now, like, as I was watching the kind of, it's called Motorball, but it's a rollerball match, like the classic cult film rollerball. It's basically that on steroids. And as I was watching that, I was like, damn, I should really go watch the live-action Speed Racer again. That was really cool. Yeah, I feel like I like this movie, but it's definitely one where the bits and pieces of it that I enjoy are kind of buried in a bunch of stuff that I'm really lukewarm on. And I think most of that boils down to, like, issues I have with, like, the structure and the plotting. Like, this is... We were talking about this. This is just so jam-packed with stuff. Which is both, a blessing and a curse for this movie. And again, I'm broken record here. It's not a bad movie, but there is a lot of unrealized potential, at least in my mind. I think, to me, the biggest flaw in this movie is that it's not really as zeroed in on the mystery of who Alita is as it could be. They sort of touch on this notion pretty early on that by putting herself in danger, she has these, like, flashbacks to her previous life, her past life, which is like starts out as this impetus for her becoming a bounty hunter, even though it's not the term that they use, and for getting involved in motorball matches. Like this kind of central tension of her needing to put herself at risk versus Ito wanting to protect her is like, this is what we call a major theme that could be explored more fully, and instead it kind of becomes secondary to a lot of other things. It doesn't really get to the point that I want it to get to. And if I'm being completely honest, I think a lot of my thoughts on this are kind of just rambling and vague, and I worry that a lot of them are overly negative or come across overly negative. Because again, this is not bad. It just doesn't land the way that I wanted it to. And that's kind of an unfair critique on my part. Like, I want to engage with this the way that the movie is presented to me. But yeah, it just kind of... The things I like, I really like. The things I dislike, I'm like, I'm going to fast forward through this part. Or I'm going to, like, whatever, this doesn't matter to me. But all this kind of brings us to the central tension of this podcast, which is, what is it about this movie that clicks so much for you, Farrah?
I can't believe the movie does not do a 3-point landing on a table in a bar where two guys are drinking for you. That's so upsetting. No, I'm kidding. I think there's a lot about this movie that I really love, and that I don't even know if love is the right word. I enjoy it. It's not the kind of movie that I put on, like, every single time I want to watch a movie that I don't know what to watch. Like, this is not my Mummy, like Rachel's Mummy,
yes,
you know?
Yes.
But if I just want to see a teenage girl or a young woman kicking butt and taking names and making quips, this is what I will turn on because it's hella fun, right? But I think one of the big things I love about it so much is just we talk a lot particularly nowadays, about the balance that directors and producers have to strike between CGI, practical effects, et cetera, et cetera. And I think this movie does just such a good job at mixing the art form that is CGI with practical set, with, you know, like creating a very living world. And that, you know, like in my notes, I have the CGI and the world building separate as two separate talking points, but I don't know if that is accurate, because there's so much of the world building that is pushed into like how they utilize practical effect versus CGI, and the specific thing that I want to touch on of that is Alita, specifically her character design, because the world that we're in is very cyberpunk. We have, you know, gritty, dirty streets. We have cybernetic people all over the place with like all sorts of prosthetics, from like what we would consider like prosthetics today of just like a limb or whatever, all the way to like your full body, and the only thing that is your original part, and I'm using big quotation marks here, is like your face and your brain. You know, like you can be rebuilt however the heck you want. And then Alita just looks like she hasn't been amended at all, unless you see her without, you know, most of her clothes, right? Her neck up, she is fully apparently human, except she's the only character that is fully CGI her face, I'm pretty sure. And her eyes are just uncannily big. Yeah. In that very, like, anime. Nod to anime sort of hero kind of thing, which I had feelings about in the world of the story. Because, and this is why I say those two topics are just going to merge in my head, it is a deliberate choice to give her really big eyes. And it is a nod to who she is as a 300-something-odd-year Martian warrior kind of thing. But nobody bats an eye at the fact that she looks like the historic, you know, alien invaders of Earth. I don't know. Yeah. It's weird and interesting.
Yeah, real short memory, it would seem, in Iron City. Yeah. I just had to look this up because I realized I hadn't checked it out for how they did Rosa Salazar as Alita. So I looked up, you know, Alita behind the scenes. And so she's on set all the time, Rosa Salazar. And she's got like a jumpsuit on with the motion tracking little balls and dots attached to it. Yeah. She's got a kind of like rig, this kind of like cap on her head that has a face-mounted camera, and her face is done up in a grid of dots for like full performance capture. So I guess I had assumed that like more of I assumed that she was like in a full costume on set, and then they did the CGI work to do her face and head shape, and then any other stuff that they would have to do. I didn't realize how extensive it was, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty impressive. Yeah. But also not surprising, given that this is a James Cameron produced movie that came out after Avatar. So it's like, but like they did the work. It's really impressive. I will say that it's really good how they embed characters like Alita and Ed Skrine's character, Zapen, is like, it's just his face and then like cyborg body and legs. And they do a really good job at kind of making that feel both authentic to the world, but also a little uncanny to us as viewers. And it's really well done in the scenes where they are clearly in like real sets. I find that, and I was talking to you about this, they have the big, kind of like the climactic moment of the movie, I think, is the motorball match at the end. And it's intercut with Hugo running away from Zapen. and
Yep.
and the motorball match is just, that's all animated. That's just an animated movie at that point, and that's totally fine. But it's so kinetic and feels so different compared to what they're doing with the kind of like on foot chase scene with like practical parkour stunts and like real sets, that it's jarring how they cut between those two things. Like, and that's not saying that either of them is bad. It's more just like when they're so clearly juxtaposed together like that, it's like, okay, this is taking me out of it a little bit. I think individually both work really well, but it's just the kind of clash of seeing them side by side.
It's like when you're playing a video game and the cutscenes are absolutely gorgeous, and then suddenly they're not, because you're playing it now, and the graphics aren't quite so good. And it's like, it's not bad, but it's like, like, my brain doesn't like it.
like an old Scooby-Doo episode where they're like, I wonder what the ghost left behind, and it's like, it's probably that thing that stands out from the background because it's a different animation
glowing.
cell. It's probably that thing right there that reflects the medium versus the actual artistic intent.
What's the thing that I have to click on? I wonder if it's that thing that's fully rendered instead of the thing that's like 98% pixels. So it's
so, and again, they do a really killer job with all of this, and it does feel a little like unfair to be like, well, if James Cameron's just the producer on this, maybe if he was the director, it would have brought that like Avatar level of quality. But it's like, well, like, also maybe it wouldn't have. It probably wouldn't have.
Absolutely.
Like, they're different things, and Avatar's going for a different look than this is. So
I'll be honest, I haven't seen the latest Avatar. I should. I really should, because it looks real pretty.
It's absolutely gorgeous. At least, well, I guess by the time this comes out, the latest Avatar will be the third one. But as of this recording, the latest Avatar is The Way of Water, the second one.
Yes.
So,
but the thing I wanted to point out with that is that, as far as I remember, because it's been a minute, that's a natural setting, generally speaking.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, that's nature. That is not a gritty city, right? Whereas here, we have maybe 5 minutes in a beautiful natural setting, which I think is mostly an actual set and or a field or whatever, but I digress. The detail and the texture that they put on everything, both from a practical set perspective and from a CGI design perspective, is incredible. Like, similar to how with Star Wars, I really love how everything always looks used and gritty and like messy and whatever. This movie does a very good job doing similar texture in the world, and I mean that literally texture, not just like thematically texture, I guess, of like, you can see the layers of dirt, you can see the drips of rust from iron and metal and stuff like that, you can see the crumbling buildings. Like, it feels alive, where some CGI, if you don't necessarily have that same attention to detail or the same like vibe that you're going for, because I'm sure lots of times it's an intentional choice, it doesn't feel alive to me in the same way. But this really does bring that extra level, and it is, generally speaking, very consistent between the CGI vision and the set vision. And like, you can, I'm going to say that I can kind of tell which ones are sets and which ones are not. I'm probably wrong, because I probably can't tell the difference between a lot of them because they're so really well done, right? A lot of it's probably green screen and I didn't notice. And I love that. I love that I can't tell.
I mean, like,
other than the race, obviously.
I mean, there are definitely things where you're like, there are definitely things where you can tell where the movie magic is happening a little more than others. But they do a really incredible job of blending these two, not even mediums, of blending the real with the unreal, I guess is the short form way of saying it. And it's Weta Digital, I think, Weta Effects, who did the entirety of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Hobbit movies, so many other things. They were the folks behind the effects on this, so they're really pushing the envelope in terms of what's possible when this comes out, which is 2019. Yeah, it's great. It's really well done. And yeah, the kind of like the building of a world that feels lived in and authentic is really cool. There were a couple shots in it that I'm like, that's a Blade Runner shot. That's in Blade Runner. But you got the neon signs and you're like, kind of like looking down on this dark alley with neon signs. I'm like, that's 100% a Blade Runner call out. It's got to be. But then like you also get these scenes in daylight, which doesn't happen in Blade Runner. Blade Runner is like, you know, the future Los Angeles is just like basically New York at that point, and constantly raining and dark. So
Yeah.
It's really cool that they kind of play with these kind of like cyberpunky tropes of setting and place, and you know, show a bit more of that like life existing in it. Like they have the street motorball game. Like they're basically playing like pickup hockey but motorball, and it feels like, you know, there's plant life nearby. Like there are a couple, like it's just like a standard, like, you know,
It's just a city.
it's just an alley or a street in this like neighborhood in a city, and that's cool because I feel like, yeah, you don't get that in a lot of movies like this.
Yeah. There's literally street dogs, and there's a man in one scene. He's there for maybe 5-10 seconds playing a violin. And
Yeah.
I think that that thematic texture, moving away
Yeah.
from literal texture, really helps me connect with the city and the setting. And I think this is a great place for me to pivot to. But is it too much? Is there too much in this movie as we're trying to build this massive, like, I don't even know how many mangas. I did not look it up. I am a bad podcaster. But like a whole book series, right?
Yeah.
That they tried to cram into one movie to kick up a series. And it's a lot. And I feel like they could have spread it out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I know that's one of your, challenges to this film as well, of just like, there was a lot of plot that you kind of shoved into this, and maybe it works as a book when the books are like stacked on top of each other real fast, whereas a movie, it's been 7 years almost since this came out. So...
Yeah, maybe as a 9-volume manga that comes out over the course of like, a manga that comes out over the course of 5 years, you know, probably a little easier to drip feed setting, or like, and just the fact that when you're reading a book, the way that you process that information is different than when you're watching something on screen. You control the flow of how it arrives in your brain. There's just so much in this. And I talked about, like, I think that the central tension of this should be the mystery of who Alita is. But that's kind of solved rapidly in this.
Yes.
I think that, you know, you can still solve it relatively rapidly, but I think like that tension between Ito seeing his lost daughter in the rebuilt Alita, and Alita feeling this drive to put herself into dangerous situations to uncover more of who she is. You know, you've got the two competing drives and two competing motivations there, and I think that creates a lot of interesting tension. But like, then we have like, what's up with the Sky City? What's going on there? Is that like the movie Elysium? Is that where the rich and powerful live, or is it just Nova living there? Also, who's Nova and what's his deal, and why does he know so much about Alita? Also, like, is this a sports movie? Is this about becoming a star motorball player, or is it about this? And or is she a bounty hunter? Excuse me, is she a hunter warrior?
Hunter warrior. Yeah.
They should have just called them bounty hunters. Because that's another problem with this, is that there's this moment where like, oh no, they're hunter warriors, and the movie tells you this like it's supposed to mean something, but it doesn't mean anything to you because you haven't heard anything about it at this point. So they have to explain what it is to you, and you're like, that's just a bounty hunter. You should just call them bounty hunters. It's way easier. Then you can cut out all this unnecessary exposition. I don't know. Yeah. Also, why does cyborg Jackie Earle Haley simply not kill Christoph Waltz when he has him pinned against the wall? He's like, no, you have to watch her die. And it's like, this little lady just absolutely pummeled cyborg Danny Elfman to death. Like, and like, come on, this is kind of strange.
Yeah.
This is a moment where I think that they're simultaneously doing incredible stuff with how they're combining the performance capture and the CG work and the live action, and where it also kind of falls apart a bit because Jackie Earle Haley as Gruishka is just so, like, he's an animated character, and that's perfectly fine, but it's jarring because of how good the other bits of it are, and then you have Christoph Waltz with a rocket powered, pick hammer, which is really cool, but like, you kind of just need a bit more choreography on those moments, I think, because it kind of just seems like he's swinging at air and not, a target that they gave him as on set the day of shooting. So, yeah. I
also wonder, like, with Gruishka, first of all, I gotta wonder if Jennifer Connelly's character, Shirin, just told Gruishka, don't kill him, he's mine.
Yeah, like, that's probably it.
X. But also, like, how in the world, like, I don't care how good a fighter Christoph Waltz's Ito is. How in the world is he beating someone who absolutely decimates on the rollerball track?
Yeah.
Like, with his little pick where he can be physically injured 100, because he's just a normal human as far as I can tell.
He's just
I don't
a dude.
think we get any vibe of that he's been modified in any way, shape, or form. He's just a guy.
Yeah.
How is he able to fight all of these people with just being a guy?
Yeah, the implication is he's just that good, but from what we see, he's not that good. So it's
okay.
a little because he does get a good hit in on the character I have described as evil cyborg Danny Elfman.
Yes.
Can't remember that character's name. He does get a few good hits in on him, but then this, like, it is jarring because then this much more CG augmented character then has, like, the most, like, the wimpiest swings back. He's just like, I'm gonna get you. It just feels like a bit of odd stage fighting for a moment. And then you get Isa Gonzalez as who knows exactly what kind of movie she's in and what kind of character she has to play. She's just, like, full on hamming it up as this.
She's the spider one.
Yeah,
right?
evil cyborg spider lady who does a backflip
so cool.
and hisses, and then has a cool fight scene, and then gets her head kicked off. It's really cool. That is genuinely cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, there's some dope fighting in here, and, like, I think at this point it's similar to what was the other one? The King's Speech that we just talked about not super long ago. I think it's a few months for y'all listening, but for us it was, I think, last month. Time is strange.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not a bad, I think it's a good movie in that it's fun and it's exciting, and, like, it certainly doesn't get you bored at any point.
Yeah.
But there's, like, things you can pick at, and that makes it a very good movie because you can be like, but actually, what if? That perfect meal that has one thing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But no, I think despite the fact that it is a very, very good example of let's look at every single facet of this world, and it helps that they had what did you say, like 9 books worth of mangas to pull from. They're giving us the whole world
in one go,
and, like, like, you're giving me an Italian family dinner that I have to eat the whole dinner instead of, like, a little buffet that I can pick and choose, or like at the very least like a normal sized dinner that I don't have my nonna spooning more pasta on my plate.
Yeah.
You know, where at the same time we don't necessarily get a sense that there's some, I'm going to say racism, but I don't know if that's the right word, against people who are cybernetically enhanced.
Mm-hmm.
Or cybernetically enhanced to a point. Who knows? We don't get that detail very much. But also, we don't necessarily get a sense of why someone like Christoph Waltz would be able to, like, fight like that. He's a doctor. He's literally a doctor.
Yeah.
Like, that's his whole thing. He is the community doctor who could have been a surgeon to the stars and was, effectively, because he lived back on Zalem and was like this really incredibly famous whatever surgeon. But now he just does it in the community for free and gets paid in oranges. And he fights literally to pay to keep his clinic open. And
but also to fight
that's
crime.
Delightful. And also to fight crime and maybe to punish himself for getting his daughter killed. But that's like a whole thing. But
did he get his daughter
why?
killed, though?
He thinks he does.
That flashback is...
It's weird, and I don't understand.
It's unintentionally hilarious.
How she... Yeah. It's a little macabre.
Yeah.
A little macabre. It's... I don't know. It's very strange. But, like, I get where the guilt is coming from. But also, again, how many doctors do you know that could also be Superman and fight cybernetic people who have superhuman, like, you know? I don't get that part. I know it's an anime, so like there's some suspension of disbelief here, but I don't entirely understand. Like, if I think about D&D, okay, player characters are crazy strong, right? Like a normal human, just a normal NPC has like 2 hit points and then they're dead. That's it. They have like a strength of like 4. Alita is like a level 20 fighter, right? Or a level 20 monk, let's say.
Yeah.
She's got like 20s across the board. She's got feats for days, whatever. Where is Christoph Waltz's Ito in this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we want to look at it that way, it's also worthwhile remembering that, like, if you're playing a game like that, do your hit points reflect how many times you get hit and can keep going, or do they reflect narrative? You know, your ability in the narrative to continue on, like, because, like, you know, most, I don't know how to tell you this. Most you get stabbed once. That's it for most people, like, in general. Right. So, like, the idea that, like, I think, like, approaching it from this you know, the narrative is telling us certain things, and you kind of have to go with it on that front. You know, and I don't think the narrative fully backs that up sometimes, obviously, but, you know, it's that case of, like, we're kind of, ironically, I think the argument I'm making is kind of butting up against the, like, you know, there are all those, like, memes about, like, oh, well, Batman just, you know, Batman doesn't kill people, whatever. He's absolutely putting people in traction. It's like, well, yes, the text is telling us explicitly Batman doesn't kill people. So those people that just got, you know, sideswiped by the Batmobile are totally fine. Because that's what the text is telling us. Or got thrown off a
building and broken in half. Super fine. Yeah.
Again, the text is telling us something, so we have to go with it. You know, that's kind of, that's as much as we can say, like, you know, death of the author, and we do a close read of, like, well, I don't agree with that. We are entitled to do that, but that also means that we have to accept that what the text is telling us is also true, even when it annoys us. Like, Christoph Waltz not being the ass-kicking machine he's made out to be. That's not a dig at Christoph Waltz. That's Christoph Waltz is great.
I like when you defaulted to Christoph Waltz, not Ito the character.
Yeah.
Specifically Christoph Waltz the
Specifically
actor.
Christoph Waltz. Because, well,
is kicking butt and taking names.
Yeah, fun fact. IRL, Christoph Waltz can't actually do all that stuff. They had to tone it down for the role. He's actually, Christoph Waltz is actually Batman. And has all those skills.
I've never seen them in the same room before, so that tracks. It's like how they had to spend all the CGI money during The Hobbit to pay Benedict Cumberbatch to come back and not be a dragon, to turn back from a dragon into a human man.
Yeah.
Listen, we'll just pay you an extra $1 million. Just you can't be a dragon. Come on down off the ceiling. Christoph Waltz, you need to stop destroying all these cyborgs. Yeah. You just gotta.
Yeah.
God, if I ever work with Christoph Waltz and he hears this, I'm gonna cry. I'm just going to cry. Anyway.
Yeah. This actually kind of brings me to a point that I do want to make after that random ass digression of mine. The fun of like the world building and the fiction of this all is when it can go a little full anime mode.
Yes.
And God, what was the line? I wrote this note down. I didn't write the line down, but I wrote a note about it. Oh yeah, I did. I am a sucker for lines like "She knows the fighting techniques of Panzerkunst." That's just like, I love stuff like that. That's just goofy in the best way possible and really cool. Panzer meaning what does Panzer mean? Iron? Armor? Tank. Okay. Sick.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, I should have known that.
Honestly, yes.
Yeah.
Because she's a berserker warrior, my guy. She is like the peak of peak. I guess she's a barbarian. She's not a monk. I was wrong. But like, peak dope. Speaking of cheesy nonsense.
Yeah, she is a berserker as like that is her like the unit, the
yeah. I mean, it's
fighting.
like she's a marine. She is the marine of the army kind of situation.
And they were called the berserkers. She's technically not an alien because she's a human brain, but she was in service to the United Republic of Mars, or as they say.
God, it's
in the
so
movie.
good. I love it so much.
Yeah, stuff like this I love,
Yes.
and I wish it was a little more all in on that, unless like, and it's a sports drama for a bit.
It's so. I mean, that is peak anime, though.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest, that's peak
true.
anime.
Yeah, that's true. It's like, yeah, you're actually this ancient warrior from a long forgotten war, but you gotta win the big game. You gotta win the
sports ball first before you go fight the big bad.
Yeah. Like,
that's the only way to get up there. You couldn't build something to get up there because anyway. Yes, it's so good. There's that scene in the bar after she has officially become a hunter warrior. Literally, she doesn't do any hunter warrioring. She just gets the card to be a hunter warrior. And
I just got my full license, and I can drive with 3 passengers now.
Yeah, hurrah! She doesn't do any of that.
No.
But she goes into this like bar, which is like the vibe of a biker bar, but it's all these, hunter warrior folks. And
it's the Star Wars cantina. Yeah.
She does the Rogue One speech of like, all of you, we should all band together and be the heroes and whatever. And in Rogue One, everybody listens to this young woman, even though nobody knows who the heck she is. And they're like, oh, well, she must know because she's doing a speech or whatever. Okay. Yeah. And then everyone for Alita looks at her and goes, what are you doing? Yeah. Who are you? And then she starts a fight, which is great. Yeah. But my favorite part is when Ito runs in, panicked, because this adoptive child that he has taken on, functionally, runs in, and he tries to get them to stop, and then he stops the fight by shouting, no more free repairs, and then crickets.
Yeah. They're like, oh, okay.
Sorry, Dad's mad.
Yeah, he also smashes a table, and then like there's a throwaway shot of him picking up, like there's so much shattered glass everywhere, and he picks up one glass and puts it upright. I do really like that bit.
Oh yeah,
I also love
good, like silly bits.
Yeah, so that bar is 100% the Star Wars Cantina by another name. It's so fun. And
so there's jizz in there somewhere.
This is a deep cut reference to the genre of music canonically named something in Star Wars. I do love the bit. Jeff Fahey as McTeague is like the one cool guy in this bar, and he has his little dog.
Yeah,
and Gruishka squishes his dog, and McTeague's like, not cool, I gotta fight you now, and then becomes a good guy. I really enjoy that. I do. This is I'm just nitpicking and being weird now, but I find it so funny that in this this is a world where like cybernetic enhancement is part and parcel of existence, and so many people are just like, I'm gonna look like the weirdest possible. Like, there are a bunch of Motorball players who clearly were like, this is the coolest thing ever, and you're looking at them like, you have a jet turbine for an arm. That just seems impractical. Like,
I mean, we've seen it that it's possible to remove your head and torso and put it in something else. Yeah. So maybe that's just their work uniform. You don't know. Yeah. Maybe their actual like robotic body that they use during the day is a lot more practical. But then
that's true. Yeah. There is because the first guy that gets got by the gang, secretly Hugo's gang of I guess cybernetics harvesters. I'm not sure why they're doing that. I'm not totally clear on that, but
because they sell them for parts.
But they sell them to the okay. It's weird.
To Nova and his not Nova.
To Vector. Who then puts them on other people, I guess. Yeah. It just seems odd. Just seems like a needless conflict, but whatever. What was I saying? Yeah, because the first guy who wins clearly has like a chassis for the Motorball matches, and then just has like a normal humanoid body afterwards.
Yes.
And yeah, and then in the big Motorball match, boy, some of those people are just total absolute weirdos.
Yes, I mean they're fully just they just look like Transformers.
Yeah,
and I gotta wonder, like, how big are the apartments in this world to fit you? Like, they wouldn't fit in my house. You barely fit in my house.
Yeah,
my house is very small.
Yeah, are they just? Well, like, again, if it's like, do you just like, you park one body and you get shifted into another body? Okay, then that makes sense.
That gotta be.
But it is also like very. I found it very satisfying after the Motorball match that like they're the final two baddies think they have Alita on the ropes, and there's just randomly a massive grinder behind them. I'm like, I know what's happening. I know what's going to happen. And they get completely got it by the trash compactor. It's deeply satisfying.
That is very good.
Yeah.
There's also so in that after that bar scene, Grishka like uses his giant metal fingers to like make a hole in the ground and falls because apparently there's just a giant pit under this bar.
Yeah.
Who knew? How convenient. That goes down, I think, like 7 layers of civilization or something crazy. Yeah. And Alita just jumps down, but there is conveniently a ladder that goes all the way down also. So she and Gruishka have like 5 minutes to fight.
Yeah. While everyone else
everybody else climbs down. And the Hellhounds climb down, apparently. They don't show the Hellhounds climbing down, but I want to see these little robotic dogs climbing down a ladder very carefully because my dog can barely do stairs. She does not like them. There's some good little bits of like
Yeah.
Okay, you thought about how can we let them fight for a bit without interruption? Stairs.
The camera pans over. It's like, well, you could have taken the elevator right there. That's how we got down here. Yeah, it's just that kind of energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie should have ended, I think, after that fight, because like that should have been a moment where, because the fight ends, she does this epic dive towards, like, she's just a torso, one arm, and a head. Like, all her other parts have been cut off by Gruishka, and she manages to launch herself forward and punch through his eye socket.
Yes.
Somehow he's still standing. That should have been the end of him. I think that would have been really effective. Like, maybe he's killed off and then has to come back in the next movie rebuilt. But it should have ended there with her getting her rebuilt body as well. Yeah. And then that sets up, movie number 2. Instead, the movie keeps going. There's the entire thing with Hugo getting framed for murder, even though he kind of is a bit of a murderer for all the stuff he's done to harvest cyborg parts.
He technicalities it. No one has ever died. We just remove limbs.
They just remove limbs, and we don't see anyone die.
Yes,
Hugo has plausible deniability. He does not know what happens.
Batman
after.
never killed anybody, even though he throws people off of skyscrapers. Hugo never kills anybody. They're just leaking motor oil. They're not leaking blood. It's fine.
Yeah. So all this stuff happens. Zapin, Ed Skrine's character is what I'll choose to call him, has this big showdown. Alita manages to save Hugo
with Sharon's help.
Yeah, while destroying his human body, and frames it so that she is able to successfully defeat Zapin by like tricking the hunter warrior droids to be like, no, you can't actually attack her because that's her bounty. And so she cuts his face off, and he's still alive, but he has no face. And
steals her sword that is apparently a sword that belongs to her people rather than...
Yeah.
Which we didn't know until now.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I guess it's just Damascus steel?
Functionally, but it's like down to the microscopic whatever, and like it apparently also connects with the cybernetics in her body.
Yeah.
Which, we learned that it was an old sword, but like, okay.
Yeah. And then all this happens.
It's just a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot.
There's a whole tragic teen romance death, which I gotta say, and I included this in our talk track, this movie is so full of tropes. Yeah. Just so many gosh darn tropes. I almost appreciate... Because so many movies have the little wife that dies so that their husband can go and become who they are meant to be and like whatever. Hugo is a dumb, pretty man who loves his, kick butt girlfriend, and he dies so that she can be the premier Motorball champion / saver of or destroyer of Nova. I don't know. That's where we kind of end up. Like, she's, instead of continuing on to destroy Nova and get to the Sky City, she's like, no, I'm going to actually go compete in the Motorball thing so that they have to let me up, because that's how that works.
Yeah.
And it's been months. We're told it's been months that she's been competing. It's like, you didn't just run up the thing? You didn't find a way to run up the... Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, they try to run up, and Hugo can't jump high enough. Hugo does not time his platforming appropriately, and
he really doesn't.
Fails to hit the jump button in time and gets shredded by the defense systems, and then dies to motivate the female protagonist, which is good. Which is, I mean, as tropes go, it's a pretty tired one, but it's nice to see it inverted in terms of the gender norms.
Love me a flip gender norm.
Yeah. Also, Alita just kills Vector because he's a bad guy, but also it's more Nova, possessing Vector for that moment. So Vector's not a good guy, but also probably doesn't fully deserve to be murdered while he's not in control of his own body.
Yeah. Can I also say, just on that scene, so Mahershala Ali plays Vector.
Yeah.
And the scene where he gets stabbed by Alita, but he is still speaking as Nova.
Yeah.
His physical acting of dying while his voice sounds perfectly normal was so good. Like, he did such a good job, like, giving us the physical, like, oh, that looks like a wound that he's gonna die from. That's too bad. But, like, he's fully, like, falling onto the ground. There's no physical efforts that he's making, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he's such a good actor. He's just so good.
This movie is actually a strong case for just making that Mahershala Ali-led Blade movie. Because he just wears cool black overcoats and sunglasses at all times.
And slutty little glasses, as the kids say.
Yeah, and he just looks cool as hell. And it's like, why is it so hard? He wants to be Blade. Let him be Blade. Just make it happen, Marvel.
Right. Please.
Yeah, this is, if nothing else, this is a strong case for letting him be Blade.
Frankly, just let him be whatever he wants.
Yeah,
it's just great.
Oh, he's incredibly talented.
It's incredible.
I also think that, like, I find Gruishka as a character really dull, and he's just kind of a heavy. But I really do like Jackie Earle Haley. I think Jackie Earle Haley is an underrated actor, I find. The bit where he goes from being Gruishka and this almost like pathetic whining about being injured while he's being repaired, and then suddenly you hear the shift in his voice and he's Nova speaking through Gruishka is really well done. And that's where you get the cool line about the ancient technique of Panzerkunst. And I'm like, oh, this is so
you made it
anime.
sound cool.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Keep it coming.
Yeah. I feel like every time I watch this movie, I forget that he also played Rorschach in
the Watchmen movie.
Watchmen. And every time I'm reminded, I'm like, yeah, he's pretty great.
Hey,
really cool.
that Watchmen movie is not. It ain't it. I don't think it's a good adaptation of the comic, but
I mean, yeah,
the depiction of Rorschach was really well done. Is ironically like the best. Not ironically, it is the best part of it.
I'm pretty sure that's on the list because I mean, it's been a minute since I watched it, and I do enjoy it when I watch it with some asterisks, but I have read the graphic novel multiple times, and I consider them different things.
It misses the point of the graphic novel
kind of
so
different
dramatically.
things.
Yeah.
I mean, are you surprised given how? Anyway, that's a different movie. We're talking about Alita battling.
Yes.
Right now. I think the other thing that this movie is a really good case study for, and really needs to, like, teen girls. I started it, and I'm going to end it with this, too. We need more young women heroes because we're really quippy. We can be super cute and soft and also kick butt. And it doesn't feel weird when they quip. Because a lot of dudes, like action movies, they'll have, like, the epic line, or, like, they'll be quippy, and you're like, well, I don't know. A lot of dudes don't really quip in my day-to-day. It's just not a thing that I hear a lot. But teen girls can quip with the best of them. And I just need more of that in my action movies. Give me more teen girl, young woman action heroes that quip.
Well, I've got a quippy movie to recommend, but it is not a teen girl quippy movie. You ever seen Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Hey, Sully.
Classic.
Remember when I said I'd kill you last? Yeah, you did say that. I lied. Movie's so good.
Oh, God. Maybe I just want more quippy heroes generally, because they take themselves too seriously nowadays. I just need more quips. I gotta say, like, because we're getting close to the close here. For all its faults, and it has some, I really love how, like, it doesn't take itself too seriously, despite the fact that it's, like, dumping a Niagara Falls worth of lore on your face, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's got all this epic anime nonsense. It's got the big affectionate nonsense. I love anime. It's got the big like epic sports battle, whatever stuff. Like I aspire to that level of announcer voice, you know. But also, it's silly and warm. And at near the end, Alita calls Ito father, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
my heart.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you have to edit that. And it's just like, it's just, it's a nice
fun.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's one of those things. This is one of those movies where I think, like, if it leaned more into the anime origins, it would probably serve it a little better.
Yeah.
I think that, and Robert Rodriguez as director, I think has this. You know, he's done schlocky things. You know, and I mean that in a complimentary sense. Like he did From Dusk Till Dawn. He did the very faithful adaptation of the Sin City comics.
Yes. So
he did the El Mariachi series with... I have an angry dog upstairs. He did the El Mariachi series with Antonio Banderas as a gun-wielding
So good.
mariachi musician.
Yes.
And Spy Kids. Spy Kids is, I think, the most, like, one-to-one with this. It's got the same vibe. Aesthetically and in terms of what it's trying to do. Yeah. It's fun. It is fun.
Watch Spy Kids now.
Spy Kids 1, incredible.
Yeah.
I don't think I watched any of the other ones.
I did. They were fine.
Yeah.
From what I remember, anyway. It's been a minute. You know, but
yeah,
I would agree with that. It's got like a playful like funness. I do wonder with the popularity of K-pop Demon Hunters and the fact that, yes, you can bring anime into the West and the mass market will respond positively when they do make the sequel, because apparently it's in the works now as of a month from when we started, or
as
when
of
we're
November
recording
2025.
this.
Yeah.
So not even a month, a couple weeks.
Yeah.
It is in production. I wonder if they will start to lean a little more into the anime vibes because they know they can sell it in a Western market, you know, and the kick butt lady leads, like, let's go, more K-pop Demon Hunters, more Alita, more whatever. Let's go.
Yeah.
I want it all.
Yeah, I think there's room for it to happen. I think it'll. You know, I think it's
so.
James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez are working on the screenplay at this point. So, and this wasn't a smash hit by any stretch, but it wasn't a failure certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they're able to make more. It would be fun if they made more. I think
it would be fun.
It's nice when you're able to make weird stuff, and you know, this has a cult following for sure.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah, I think it hit with like a very distinct, and this is out of the air, but this feels right. It hit with a very distinct subset of nerd, and I don't know. I hope it kind of gives more women and girls an excuse to like watch cheesy action movies because they are really fun. It's so exhausting when it's always like a big beefy dude. You're like, ugh, no, I just want kick-ass ladies.
Yeah, I think like we certainly don't need like live action westernized adaptations of all these anime properties. It's not necessary because those things exist, and you know, there are beautifully animated theatrical releases of anime properties.
Yes.
And I'm saying anime here, and this is based off of a Japanese comic, off of manga, but like you see stuff like this, you're like, oh, this could actually be really cool. And you know, the other thing that I would love to see personally on the anime adaptation front, there was that bit in the otherwise completely forgettable, as far as I'm concerned, Ready Player One movie, where one of the characters summons a Gundam, mecha, and I'm like, that's the coolest thing ever. They got to do a live action version of that, and apparently they are. I'd love to see that personally, but we'll see. Yeah, one day.
Well, that brings us to the end. Just about. So, if you like Alita Battle Angel, what else? We've already talked a little bit about this, but what else do you watch if you liked Alita Battle Angel or are intrigued by it?
Yeah, I think if you're into the like blending of performance capture, computer generated imagery, and practical effects, Jim Cameron's Avatar and Avatar: The Way of Water, and I guess the third one will be out by the time people hear this. Avatar: Fire and Ash, I think it's called. Like, regardless of how you feel about the storytelling in those, you can't deny that they look incredible and they really push the envelope in terms of what's possible. But yeah, for a much more one-to-one vibe, I would say that the first Spy Kids movie by Robert Rodriguez is also a really good match with this.
So good. I need the listeners to know that you wrote Jimmy Cameron.
Yeah, Jimmy Cameron. Jim Cameron.
Not Jim. Jimmy. It's very good.
Did you see? I don't know if anyone saw the. I think I told you about this, but they were doing all the Titan submersible, Ocean Gate Titan submersible regulatory investigation after the fact, and these things are so heavily redacted. Like, the interviewers are kept redacted, the people who are interviewed are kept redacted, and they will interview experts in the field. And so all this information does become public to some extent, but the names are protected to provide some degree of anonymity. And the quote from it was incredible, because they were they're interviewing this submersible expert, and they're like, yeah, so give us a bit of background on how you became so invested in submersible technology and became an authority on it. And the response is, well, you're probably aware of my film Titanic. And you're like, okay, I wonder who this could possibly be. I wonder who they spoke to.
Oh, no.
Absolutely
it's a
hilarious.
Mystery. Truly a mystery.
Yeah. Who could this wealthy filmmaker who has an interest in submersibles be, who directed the film Titanic? Who could that possibly be? Of all the things to not redact, they just left that in there.
I think there's because this is apparently a thing in my brain that just lives there forever. Ross Bryant's prompt to enter Make Some Noise one time was like, this guy's really bad at being in witness protection. And he just walks on and just introduces himself and whatever. But that feels like that level of I'm trying to be anonymous, but also I made Titanic. So I wonder.
It's one of those things where it's like, you just know that no one was like, hey, you can't say that. You're supposed to be anonymous. And it's like,
yeah. Whatever, man.
Absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah. I will forever be this podcast's resident Jim Cameron defender. That guy. Yeah. You might not like his movies.
You say it like I attack him in any way, shape, or form.
Hey, you know what? The internet. The internet hates the Avatar movies based on what I've seen, and. My argument is always regardless of how good you think those things are, they make money and they always represent a significant leap forward in visual effects technology. Yes. And that's the Jim Cameron method is he's gonna invest a ton of money in something, make an absolutely smash hit movie that probably isn't as good as the budget the box office returns imply, but that's just what he does, and he's been doing it for years, and respect to him for that. And then we get because of that investment and stuff like that, we get things like this. He wants to make big swing movies that way. So
yes,
I love it.
Honestly, love it for him.
Yeah,
love it.
Right. On your end, you had some recommendations, because I that was a whole digression on my part.
I love a digression. If you want more kick butt ladies, Old Guard and Atomic Blonde, they aren't even necessarily. I mean, I think they're good movies because I enjoy a cheesy spy flick, and I also enjoy Charlize Theron. But like Old Guard and Atomic Blonde. If you want some fun anime, because I feel like I gotta include like some of that. Frieren Beyond Journey's End is so good. It is not the big adventure vibe in the same way, but it is really good and real cozy. And I also grew up watching Inuyasha and Sailor Moon. Neither of those things are, none of those three things are movies. They're all TV shows, but I don't care. I'm going to recommend them anyway because they're fun. And I think there are Sailor Moon movies, so on a technicality they count. So, yeah. 10 out of 10 would recommend. What I would also recommend is finding us on Patreon as Coffee as Kurosawa. You can also find us on Blue Sky and Instagram as Coffee Kurosawa Pod. You can find me on Blue Sky and Letterboxd, and Instagram is Farrah and at sarpkaya.ca, where I lend my voice as a voice actor. Ben, where can the people find you?
I'm on Blue Sky as at the Benjimon, and on Letterboxd as at Benjimon. I'm keeping it real basic on my end.
You say that, but every time I go to Blue Sky and I try to find you, I forget there's a "the" in your name, and it's just the silliest problem. It's just the silliest problem.
I'm the definite article. That's what it is. Yeah.
I have to pin that behind my eyes for every time I do a social post for us.
All right. Incredible.
Well, Happy New Year, friends.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining us today. And I suppose we'll see you in the Sky City next time.
Yeah. Keep on motorballing and I don't know, be the hunter warrior you want to be.
Be the hunter warrior change you was just
Yeah.